static HTML page. What opportunities do you see to create components out of this? What do you have going on here? Sidebar. Seems legit. What else? Yeah. List of notes. What else? What's that? The editing area. It's a form. A single note in the list. That's a pretty good start right there. Let's start making it so. So let's create a new component in our source directory for, I want to make the form first. Capital in note, capital F form. That is important in React. Now what? We need to import. We can import React from React. If we want, we could also import component from React. The difference being, when we create our class NoteForm extends. If we hadn't imported component, we would have to say React.component. But since we imported component directly, we can just say extends component. Before I even begin implementing this thing, I'm going to go ahead and export it before I forget. Export default. Okay. Okay. So I would have had to do React.component if I hadn't imported component here in braces. I'm going to export default, NoteForm. It's going to need a render function, isn't it? Render method. And for the moment, this can be really simple. Let's just return paragraph form over in app.js. In order to use this thing, what must we do first? We exported it here. We must import it there. I like to put the stuff that's actually part of our app separated from the stuff that's from npm packages. Import dot slash, and since I have that extension, it does that part for me. Import NoteForm from NoteForm. Could I instead import Kai's Pancake Emporium from NoteForm? Heck yes, I can. Because that's just the default. We can import it as whatever we want. It's just making a local variable. But let's not do that and make our lives harder. I know. I want one too. Import NoteForm from NoteForm. So now inside our app here, we could actually include that thing. NoteForm self-closing tag, right? Form. Yay. Let's make the actual form. Well, no, let's just get these components in all here. So we need the sidebar before that, right? Let's go ahead and make it. Make a new file called capital S sidebar.js. And you know what? I'm going to use that new trick that Seth taught us for this one. Maybe. I am missing a file. I still need to import React, regardless, from lowercase React. But I'm going to make a stateless functional component, which is just a function. And I suppose I'll give it the clever name sidebar. And before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and export default sidebar. Don't need a render function, right? This is a function. The component itself is a function, and that's the thing that's going to return the JSX. So I'll just say return sidebar. See if we can get that much to render. Simple though it may be. Back in app, we'll import it as well. Import sidebar from sidebar. Let's use it. Let's refresh. I mean, we don't have to refresh. Haha. Sidebar, form. Yay, all the things. So our server is doing some magical stuff there every time we do something. It's watching for changes to our files, and it's updating this build in memory and telling the browser to refresh itself. It's pretty nice. If we hadn't used Create React App, it would be some work to set that up, but it just does it for us. It's so easy, it's almost insulting. But not quite. Really, I'm pretty okay with it. So we said NoteList as well, right? So what are you calling the sidebar here? Would you say the sidebar contains two things, whatever this is, and the note list? Are you calling the sidebar just this, and this is the note list? Just that is the sidebar? Should we let them do it? What'd you do? Would you fight them on this? Okay. The question is, do we make a single sidebar component and separate it into whatever this is and the list? Or is sidebar just this and note list is not a child of that? Maybe for the sake of just having child things, maybe we call this whole thing collectively the sidebar, and the sidebar has two things inside it. Yeah, Gabby?
I would separate it out as this just being a sidebar
Okay, I will definitely not debate making them two separate components. The question is, collectively, are they one? You know what? It is not worth it. So let's make NoteList. We're already in this world of adventure where I'm live coding this thing and have many, many opportunities for mistakes. Why not add more? NoteList.js. I'm going to make NoteList a stateless functional component as well. Import React from React. Don't need to import component because we don't need to extend it, right? Const NoteList equals this arrow function. Return something. Holy smokes, did you see that? Watch this. Watch this. Right here inside my JavaScript. P, my emit shortcut. Holy crap, it expanded it. It knew. It does JSX too. What if I said, p.foo? Yeah. Oh, it didn't do the smart thing this time. What's that?
Is that with tab?
It depends on your configuration. Okay, there are instructions. There are instructions on the tools page that you could have done a week and a half ago to set this up. Sorry, I just keep saying go out to the tools page to set this stuff up. I'll say it one more time, and then I'm going to ridicule you in the future. Okay, so let's return anyway a paragraph with NoteList. Go back to app. Import that rascal. The order doesn't matter. I'm just importing them in the order in which I'm going to use them in the markup. Import NoteList from /NoteList. And I'll stick that between the sidebar and the NoteForm. Oops. That used to work. Let's see about that. Check out a browser. Oh, holy cuss. Expected a string or a class function but got undefined. You actually forgot to export your component from the file it's defined in, didn't we? I always say I'd do it before I even start writing it. I didn't this time. And what happened? I forgot it, of course. Cool. Now I know we're going to style these things, so I'm going to go ahead and create the style sheets for them and just leave them empty for right now. So sidebar, NoteForm, and NoteList.css. Capitalize it the same way. Sidebar.css. NoteList.css. NoteForm.css. And even though they're empty, just so I don't forget to do it later, in NoteList, I'm going to say import from NoteList.css. No, sure don't. Import sidebar.css. Import NoteForm. So this autocomplete thing also will remind me if I forgot to make that file, as well as keeping me from mistyping it. It won't stop me from choosing the wrong thing from the list. It can't do everything for us. Now I'm just going to make sure that didn't make it explode. If I'd imported something that didn't exist, it would have exploded at that point. It didn't. It's happy. So we've created these basically empty components, but the files are there in place. I'm going to go ahead and commit this. So I will again just do write from code, add sidebar, NoteList, and NoteForm components.